And he says, much like the miners of 1849, programmers started flocking to the Bay Area to find jobs in up-and-coming software and hardware corporations. With the influx of high-tech, high-paying jobs, the price of everything soared. The cost of rent in San Francisco and the surrounding area skyrocketed. People who were not part of the high-tech boom were forced to move out as the rent and property taxes grew higher and higher. The running joke became, if you want cheap rent, move to a low-rent area like Manhattan. And this created a clear and visible cultural divide between the haves and the have-nots, those with computer-related jobs and those without them. To give some perspective to this situation, I was renting a house with 4 other guys in Cupertino. That's just south of Stanford's area. It had 5 small bedrooms, 2 floors, and was 1,800 square feet. Nothing had been remodeled since the early 60s. We were paying $3,800 a month in rent, which was a steal. When the owners tried to bump the rent to $4,500 a month, we balked. We were grad students, and they kicked us out. After we left, the house was up for sale for $1.4 million. Thinking about it, it astonishes me I was living in a $1.4 million house. Think about what kind of house you'd expect to get for that kind of money. An indoor pool, 3 stories, a spectacular kitchen, walk-in closets, multiple porches and patios, a few acres of land. Nope. The house didn't have any of those. It had 5 plain small bedrooms, a small living room, a kitchen from the 1960s, and a tiny backyard. A similar house in the area where I grew up, Grand Rapids, Michigan, would cost about $95,000. In early 2000, things again changed. Despite the cost of living, programmers continued to flood the valley and the number of startups and dot-com swelled. Suddenly everyone had an idea. No one had a product, a business plan, or any experience, but it didn't stop venture capitalists from throwing billions of dollars around. Several programmers I met came into town and were worth $1 million about 3 weeks later. These 20 to 30-something programmers suddenly found they had a lot of money, more than they knew what to do with. At the hockey rink where I played, the parking lot was filled with imports. At one time there was a Lotus, 2 Porsches, a Ferrari, and the usual smattering of Mercedes and BMWs. Geeks were suddenly ruling the Bay, which made some people unhappy. Most programmers were singular males in their 20s, but they started displacing families as they snapped up property and rentals in the good school districts in urban areas. There's a rumor that employees at a local Safeway, which is like our Quality Dairy, were bussed in by the store from over an hour and a half away because none of the workers could afford to live any closer. In movie theaters, commercials ran before movies advertising all the dot-coms that were hiring. Companies would offer free massages, free meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, signing bonuses in the thousands of dollars, and even more ludicrous propositions. I was always shocked they didn't offer free mail order brides for their in-house geeks. And then, in late 2000, the bubble burst. The financial world saw that there was no new economy, that dot-coms were the exact opposite of profitable, and that the internet was not going to revolutionize shopping and the economy in the ways that had been previously believed. The cars disappeared from the hockey rink parking lot. As he wrote, and he wrote this in late 2000, 70% of my hockey friends are unemployed or in between jobs. A few weeks ago, someone showed up to hockey and was giving out t-shirts for a defunct .com. When I asked him why, he said he did consulting for the company in return for a few thousand shares of stock, predicted to be worth millions. When the share price fell below a penny, they gave him 50 t-shirts. It was all they had left. Many programmers are leaving the area to find work elsewhere. Some made enough money during the boom to retire. I met one of the first employees of Yahoo last week. He retired at 28 and just got back from a vacation overseas. For every happy ending, though, there are dozens more in dire straits. Having exercised their stock options at the high, many of these programmers still owe taxes on the full cost of the stocks when exercised. So many people who bought millions of dollars worth of stock or invested in companies, their own or others, at prices way below that, still need to pay taxes on those millions of dollars, even if the stock price is now below a penny. And this is when the dot-com bubble burst. Thousands of web-based businesses collapsed, including Pets.com, which was seen as an anchor and a success in the emergence of web-based businesses. Ebituaries used to screen capture the shots of websites as they died. Kablink, in this example, is kaput. May 31st, 2000. In 2002, a success story, Amazon.com, which had been in existence since 1995, posted its first profit ever.